Welcome to this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck, coming to you from outside of our BTV studios. The Bridgewater Police and Fire Department are investigating a crash involving an ATV that took place on Curve Street. According to reports, the ATV was being driven by a 60-year-old male and had been traveling through an excavation site before hitting a stone pile and eventually rolling over. The man was given aid by the fire and police departments and eventually was flown to the hospital by med flight with serious injuries. The crash remains under investigation. A man in his 50s from Taunton and a Rainham native is the fourth fatal case of Triple E in the state of Massachusetts this year. Scott Mossman, who is a graduate from Bridgewater Rainham High School, reportedly contracted the mosquito-borne illness and had been battling it over the past month before succumbing to the virus. According to the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, there have been 12 confirmed cases of Triple E so far this year, and the story is worth noting here in Bridgewater because the state updates this map as needed, and there are currently 35 communities at critical risk for contracting the mosquito-borne illness, and 53 are still at a high risk, including us here in Bridgewater. We are still waiting for the first hard freeze of the season, which may still be a couple of weeks away. There will be a couple of informational meetings coming up over the next month involving Bridgewater Parklands and the waterways, including the one that I'm standing in front of now here at Town River Landing. And one of those meetings actually takes place coming up tomorrow night at the Academy Building. Jeff Fowler has more.
Are you a Bridgewater resident who likes to walk, tent, fish, picnic, bicycle, canoe, or kayak? Did you know that Bridgewater has a parkland system consisting of 6 parks set aside for these very activities? The town of Bridgewater is in the process of hiring staff to coordinate volunteers in the maintenance and stewardship of our parklands and trails. Volunteers are needed to help keep the parkland system viable in Bridgewater. A kickoff orientation event will be held on October 17th in the Bridgewater Academy building from 7 till 8 p.m. A follow-up and more advanced session will be held on November 21st at the same time. Your attendance at this 2-part series will accomplish 2 things: education on the parks and what they have to offer, and ensuring that town leaders understand the importance of the park system and the need to protect our parks while seeing their full potential. Join us on October 17th. We hope to see you there.
Again, that meeting takes place at 7 p.m. on Thursday night in the Academy Building inside the council chambers. If you can't make it to the meeting, we'll have a recording of that meeting released coming up shortly after. It's time to dig out the costumes for Halloween, and we here at BTV are set to do the same for our Bridgewater Now Halloween special. We'll show you some of the fun Halloween activities taking place around the area and some interesting stories as well. You can take part if you want to show off your Halloween decorations or Halloween costumes. We'll feature it in our program. Submissions for the program must be sent by October 30th with the subject line Bridgewater Halloween to jluck@btvaccess.com. This is open to all of our viewers, so if you're watching us on any of our social media platforms, just let us know where you're sending your pictures from, so that way we can give you the proper credit. I'm just saying the costumes from last year are going to be pretty hard to beat, especially Doc. I mean, that was pretty much the top prize last year. So it sounds like there'll be a lot of raking going on this weekend, and there are some precautions that should be made when picking up the leaves. More specifically, BLT, not the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches, but bending, lifting, and twisting. Doctors say that bending, lifting, and twisting can cause intense lower back pain, especially when done repetitively. When bending over, the bones in the back separate, which gives a disc an opportunity to actually slip out of place. Adding in the weight of heavy, wet leaves, and your risk of injury will increase. When your back feels a little sore, doing some gentle movement can help, and applying ice or heat can help as well when needed. One thing not to do though is sit in place, because that can actually make things worse. If you're still having back pains, or especially if you've already had back pain, it may be time to seek the help of a professional.
The most important thing you can do is, if you're putting any kind of heavy load in some kind of receptacle, is have it close to you and your feet pointing at it. So I can lift things up and put it directly into the bin to avoid that bend, lift, twist position, which puts the body at the biggest compromise. Quite often, these injuries don't go away, right? The symptoms might subside, but the underlying cause may not go away. So making sure you do some kind of rehab into the future to shore up the area, strengthen the area, and bring that range of motion back in the correct ranges of motion is vitally important.
It may also be helpful to pause and break up yard work into pieces. Also try raking with both sides of the body so you're altering your motion, or get some help, and if all things fail, hire someone to do it. Thank you for watching this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck.